Good afternoon, students. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon outside, and here I am enjoying myself recording preloading videos. So today I get the pleasure of reading or presenting to you on influence of globalization on operations. Now, I did an image search for globalization, and surprisingly, or perhaps not, I couldn't find many positive pictures. So I'm curious as to whether you get what's being conveyed by this cartoon showing these Nike manufacturing employees with someone else in the background. All right, let's go. So, influence of globalization on operations. This is the first little part of Chapter 2, Influences on Operations Management. So there are a whole number of influences on operations management that you need to learn about in the next couple of weeks. Globalization, technology, quality expectations, cost-based competition, government policies, legal regulations, environmental sustainability, and corporate social responsibility, CSR. Now, some of these terms we've encountered already this year. A number of them you've probably met in other subjects or in the past. They're all interrelated, so learning about them completely in isolation doesn't make a lot of sense. That said, we've got to do them one at a time. So let's start with globalization. Here we have, as mentioned in class last week, the 10 highest by revenue, highest, what's the word I'm looking for? The 10 largest companies in the world by revenue. Walmart, US supermarket chain, number 1. But the rest are most definitely global businesses. Those Chinese oil companies probably do not produce their oil in China. And those automotive manufacturers build, sell their vehicles all around the world. And we know all about Apple already. We'll learn more. Globalization refers to the removal or reduction of trade barriers between countries. So it's trying to make trade cheaper between countries, to make it easier, make it more desirable. What does it do? It promotes economic growth. It promotes increased international trade and investment. It has products, it has money flowing between nations and within nations more smoothly than would have without. Globalization has provided an important source of new market opportunities for businesses. However, it also presents challenges. For example, an Australian business needs to compete against foreign businesses importing into Australia. These businesses may very well benefit from cost leadership or economies of scale, which they have, unlike the Australian business, because they are a global business or because they come from a country with a much larger market due to a much larger population than what we have in Australia. The operations function of global businesses need to be structured around a series of global production facilities. And we have here an image which I found on Toyota's global production system. If you're anything like me, you consider this to be incredibly complicated. I would recommend you Google this and have a close look to see if you can make heads or tails of it. Now, obviously, not every business's global system is going to be anywhere near as complicated as this. Toyota is genuinely a global company, manufacturing cars all over the place, components from all over the place, and selling worldwide. Supply chain management is an important term to start becoming familiar with. Now, one of the operation strategies we'll learn about later this term is supply chain management. For the time being, you need to know what a supply chain is. And it is the range of suppliers that a business has and the nature of its relationship with those suppliers. Essentially, supply chain management focuses on getting inputs, turning them into outputs, and getting those outputs to the customers as effectively and as cost effectively as possible, the better they do that, the lower their costs will be and the higher their profits will be. You see an example here of an iPhone, right from the beginning, design and development occurring in the USA somewhere, through to distribution, in this example in the US. But if you were to hop online and purchase a new iPhone 10 from a factory in southern China, it would come straight to your place from China rather than going to the USA to start with. That wouldn't make any sense at all. The other term I want you to be aware of is global web. This has got nothing to do with the internet. If you Google it, you'll find stuff to do with the internet. That's not helpful. What is a global web? It refers to the network of suppliers a business has chosen on the basis of cost, risk, and quality. It is important to realize that although low costs are important, it is not the only factor. After all, you get what you pay for. If you pay bottom dollar, you probably get bottom quality. Proximity of different parts of a supply chain minimize travel time and costs involved in transporting goods. So in some cases, it makes a lot of sense to have different parts of the global web in the same part of the world. So businesses that can respond effectively to the influences of globalization, as I've been trying to introduce, through the use of approaches such as a supply chain management and global webs, are able to gain a crucial competitive advantage. That's it for now. See you in class.